Hey guys, King of Charmander here. Today I will be your judge, your jury, and your analyst. And today we will be analyzing the ever so popular Gible Community Day. Some of you love this Community Day. Some of you absolutely hate it because Niantic totally debated you with their FOMO business model, the fear of missing out, and it worked. So they thought Gible Community Day was never coming, and lo and behold, here's Gible Community Day. I've seen 50-50 about it. I've seen half of the community just absolutely pissed that they spent money trying to get a rare shiny Gible, and the other half of the community which doesn't have one and patiently waited, like this guy right here. Well, I kinda already got one. Like during GoFest, I got invited to a few raids, and lo and behold, I was lucky enough to get one. And I actually got like some during GoFest, so I got lucky. If you don't have one, it's honestly not that rare. Like Gible, shiny Gible didn't really have much value anyways, in a sense, because it was so available. It's not like, for example, like the hat Pikachus, like the Thunderbolt hat Pikachu, which is probably never coming back, by the way, or shiny Pikachu Libre. Like, to that level of rarity, I don't think it was worth that much. Anyways, Gible Community Day will be coming on Sunday, June 6th. 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. local time, so 6 hours as usual, and the special move will be Earth Power. Where is that thing? Where are you? Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, right here. Bam! So evolve Gabite during the event or up to 2 hours to get the attack Earth Power. So this video will analyze Earth Power's usefulness in both level 40 Master League and level 50 Master League. I'll be doing Master Premier as well, so this is kind of just like a blanket analysis. I would say I'm going to analyze it more heavily as far as Master Premier goes because Garchomp with Earth Power honestly isn't that oppressive. It could have got something. It honestly really could have got something better. Anyways, let's get started. Alright, so here's the Go Hub analysis for Garchomp. So, I don't even do much of an introduction to this. Most of you already know who Garchomp is. It's one of a fan favorite. It's basically a dragon hammerhead shark. When it first came out, when Black and White first came out, I love the design. It's basically Sharpedo's dragon cousin, something of that sort. Hammerhead Shark Dragon, incredible design, super hyped, and one of the most beloved Pokemon, and in my opinion, one of the coolest in all of the Pokemon franchise. As you see here, it is a dragon ground type, double weak to ice, but it's an absolute destroyer. It's able to, like, it triple resists electric. It resists fire, poison, and rock. The thing about Garchomp, though, is Garchomp does succumb to Dragon Fairy types, and of course, like I mentioned, double ice. It has incredibly high attack, as well as stamina, and good defense. Its stats are pretty high all around. In fact, it was the most powerful closer for Master Premier for the longest time, back when Master Premier was still locked to level 40. Garchomp was a beast. You saw it in so many teams, and it was meta for up to the point to where they took off the cap off old Master Premier, and at level 50 can be one of the most destructive Pokemon in your arsenal as far as Open Master League goes, or in Unlimited Master Premier. As you see here, the reason why it's so powerful is because of its moveset. It has Mud Shot, it has Outrage, and Earthquake. It has such a it also has Sand Tomb, so it has a great bait move that also debuffs you and makes you, like, say the Mega F word if you do happen to get baited. You do use a shield on it. Earthquake hits for big damage, and Outrage is a huge nuke move. However, because it already has such a great moveset, what will Earth Power do exactly to Garchomp? And that's exactly what we're going to find out in this video. Now, for Garchomp, we're going to have a community day. However, it does have an expensive second move, as you see here, 75k dust. And also, if you are trying to get it to level 50 or level 40, it takes quite a lot of dust in order for you to get there. So just keep in mind, you're going to spend a pretty penny to get your Garchomp. But, as you see here, and also the shiny isn't really much. As you see here, as far as the sprite goes on the right, it's essentially just a dark, yeah, it's hardly noticeable. Honestly, it's like hardly noticeable. It gets like a darker tint. In my opinion, it's not worth going over. But if you do get a Shundo, I wish all of you luck for a Shundo. I still don't have one yet, despite playing since day one pretty heavily or decently. I would be very jealous. But however, I hope you the best of luck in getting these monstrosities of called shundos that are extremely valuable and super cool to show off in Pokemon Go. Alright, so we're jumping straight into the Matrix. So what I did here, as you see, first we're going to look at Master League Classic. This is the first one we're going to look at. I'm going to go through the Matrix relatively quickly because, honestly, I don't foresee Earth Power being too much of an oppressive move, but we'll see exactly what happens. As you see here, I got Earthquake Garchomp with Earth Power. I also have the Outrage Earthquake and the Outrage Sand Tomb. So basically, you're always going to have Mudshot and Outrage at least one. Like, that's always going to be moveset. So again, community move, Earthquake, which is the standard one, and then the bait move, Outrage moveset. We got the 2-shield right here, and then we're going to click Go. As you see here, it looks like as far as Earth Power goes, Earth Power is able to... It's really bait dependent. So, as you see, Earth Power does give you more power for, like, Earthquake, but we're less energy. But as you see, depending on how much you can actually bait with it, it really depends. Against Giratina Altered and Giratina Origin, the only way you're gonna beat these in the 2-shield is if you successfully bait with Sand Tomb, or if you manage to blow through a hole through them with Outrage. So just keep that in mind, that it's still a very baity matchup regardless of whether you have Earth Power or Sand Tomb. Overall, Sand Tomb does look like it seems to flip more matchups, especially if you're able to bait shields with Sand Tomb, as you see here. Even with Earth Power, it's very equivalent to Earthquake, to where unless you bait out the shields in the 2-shield, it's a very risky move, or unless you are able to blow through your opponent's shields. Sand Tomb, as you see, is still the more effective move. With Earth Power not really flipping anything too notable, as you see here, it does allow you to beat Snorlax if you're able. It allows you to beat Snorlax. It does flip some notable matchups, but not great. Like here, like 520 is a comfortable matchup. Same thing with Machamp, as you see 517 with Machamp. Classic Machamp can actually run. You can beat Classic Machamp, but it, like I said, it really just depends. It just really depends. In the 1-shield Earth Power, let's see how Earth Power Garchomp does. As far as the 1-shield goes, it gives you a better matchup against Dialga. Also against other Garchomps, assuming that Garchomp isn't running Earth Power. And as we scroll down, it also gives you a better matchup against Zekrom. So it does give you some better matchups. I would say it's a better, it looks to be a better alternative overall than Earthquake. So it's a little bit of an upgrade, a little bit. If you're running the nuke move of Earth Power of Earth Power instead of Earthquake. And in the no shields, let's see. This is where the cream of the crop comes out. So you beat the same matchups you would with Earthquake, but Earth Power actually allows you to beat Kyogre in the closer. And Earth Power allows you, yeah, it does. So Earth Power does flip some key matchups, some really important matchups, like against Kyogre in the zeros. So I'm assuming that in the zeros, you're able to Earth Power your way to victory. So let's take a look at here. Outrage and then Earth Power. So you will so it looks like you will be able to Earth Power and Outrage to victory. So it does seem like Earth Power does have use and flip some matchups. So it is an upgrade. It is an upgrade. Not super huge of an upgrade, but it does flip some key matchups. Like I said here, with Kyogre, it does wonders. So in the zeros for Kyogre, it also gives you a better matchup against Dialga. So it gives you a better matchup against the Steel types and against Kyogre, which isn't a bad idea. It's still really good in my opinion. Of course, any freaking Garchomp with shield advantage is basically going to run through everything but Togekiss. And of course, in the 2-0s, like, Togekiss will still destroy you in 2-0s. That's just how powerful Charm is, and unfortunately, Garchomp is not the exception to that. If you have shield advantage, so if you're in the 2-1s and you have shield advantage, what do you get? Here's what we get here. Looks like Earth Power pretty much does this. Earth Power allows you to beat Giratina Altered, as well as give you a better matchup against Dialga. So it does give you, so Garchomp with Earth Power flips Dialga as well as Kyogre. So there are a few matchups. So in the zeros, Kyogre, and in the 2-1s, as long as you have shield advantage, better matchup against Dialga. So those are two pretty meta Pokemon, so it looks like Garchomp is getting an upgrade. So don't, like, it looks to be like, Earth Power does enable you to get that little bit of, like, the little bit of energy you are able to squeeze out in a matchup allows you to get the W in Open Master League. That's Master League Classic, of course, so Garchomp with Earth Power actually is a better option in Master League Classic. than the Earthquake or the Sand Tomb version. Sand Tomb can work if you're really good at baiting, or if you're really confident in baiting, then this will work better for you. Otherwise, if you love the Outrage Earthquake, you're in luck, because Garchomp with Earth Power is a direct upgrade over Garchomp with Earthquake. Alright, now to look for level 50 Master League. This is what a lot of you are probably going to do if you're past level 40 and you have 296 extra large candy. I did the same format as for Master League Classic. We got Earth Power right here, we have Earthquake, and we have Sand Tomb. I forgot to mention, I didn't best buddy any of them because the matchups, I looked at them ahead of time. The matchups are so close that having a level 51 Garchomp doesn't really affect anything too much. You might want to use it for something else that's probably more important, like a Togekiss or a Dialga. So something that would be a lot more. Since Garchomp is a heavy nuke Pokemon, essentially it's like a nuke Pokemon, but like it is the #1 closer for the longest time in Master League Classic. You want to use it as a closer, or you want to open with it, break shields, and have your back row sweep. So again, I don't foresee level, like, based on prior analysis, level 51 doesn't matter too much. Level 50 does. So, as you see here, we're going to pop the 2 shield, and we get this. So, against the 2 shield, obviously, against a mirror with Garchomp, you're going to win this matchup as long as you could hit Earth Power. Let's see, Sand Tomb still does give a better bait potential, still has a lot, actually, Sand Tomb has a lot of bait potential, as you see here, if you're able to bait both shields. And it looks like Earthquake and Earth Power don't match up too much compared to Sand Tomb. You could still get the same results as you would with a Sand Tomb Garchomp, I'm assuming, but you're gonna have to outrage through shields, and we all know how 50-50 that can be, or unless you've locked your opponent into death with Garchomp and energy. So in the 1 shield here, we're gonna Open Master League, 2 shield, not too much of a difference. Sand Tomb does allow you to have more bait potential. The 1 shield, let's see, in the 1 shield, so in the 1 shield, Earthquake actually allows you to take down Conkeldurr in the 1 shield. You are, and according to, or actually, not Conkeldurr, I mean Giratina, yeah, Giratina, I'm reading this wrong, I apologize. So in the 1 shield, you flip Giratina Altered, and in the 1 shield, you're also able to flip Metagross. And unfortunately, looking at this, it looks like if you have to outrage through shields, but it looks like Swampert can still take you down. Swampert in Open Master League level 51. I mean, level 50 Open Master League. I haven't seen too many, so I won't worry about it too much, but just keep that in mind. So it doesn't look like Earth Power, other than Giratina Alter, gives you much of an advantage in level 50 Master League, Open Master League. In the no shields, it might be a big difference, so let's take a look. In the no shields, obviously Earthquake does enough of a deal, but Earth Power does, like in level 40 Master League Classic, it does give you a better matchup against Dialga. As you see here, you pretty much flip everything you're supposed to flip, so there isn't too much of a titanical difference with an Earth Power variation versus the other way around. So it's not, there's not too much of a difference, to be honest with you. Now, of course, with shield advantage, Garchomp at level 50 is going to go to town. As you see, it blasts through so many things. Looks like level 50, looks like Earthquake actually gives you a better matchup with the 1-0s rather than Earth Power does, just because Earthquake is able to do more damage. So compared to level 40 Master League Classic, it doesn't look like that level 50 Garchomp is like super beastly. Of course, both of them still died to Togekiss because, you know, Charm, and the fact that Togekiss effectively pretty much walls you because it resists both Dragon type attacks due to its Fairy typing, and it resists Ground type attacks because of Flying typing. Super annoying. I don't know who hates it. I hate it a lot. If you don't, I apologize. I don't like it. With Shield Advantage, same scenario. It's Shield Advantage. As you see here, you beat everything but Togekiss. So, almost practically identical, you do more for level 40 Master League Classic than you would with level 50. So it doesn't look like Earth Power really does flip too much in Open level 50 Master League, which is meh. Alright, last but not least, we have Master Premier Cup. Now, Masters Premier is what some of you used to love before they took it out and made it to where it's like level 50 land. No, literally, that's what Master Premier Cup is now. It's level 50 land. So, since it's level 50 universe, Master Premier Cup is kind of out of reach for a lot of you. And unfortunately, there is no Master Premier Cup Classic. So, that means that Master League level 50 Premier Cup is pretty much dominated by a whole bunch of other things that, yeah. Avoid at your all risks, but let's see if level 50 Garchomp does wonders for you in Masters Premier. So in Masters Premier, Garchomp was the most powerful closer from my memory. For multiple seasons, it was the most powerful closer just because it nukes everything to death. So, as you see here, it actually, Earth Power does give you a better matchup in the 2 shield against a lot of things. So let's see, it does give you a better matchup, but it lets you be a Electivire, Excadrill, Gyarados, that's pretty huge. So you could just, I think you have to double bait though with, I think you have to double bait with Earth Power. Yeah, that's not comfy, that's not comfy. So you have to Earth Power, you bait, and then you Earth Power, and then you Outrage, and then you Earth Power again. So it's very, oh, wow, this is a really complex, yeah, that's really complicated. Anyways, as you see here, you are able to beat Gyarados as long as you bait shields with Earth Power. Other than that, it doesn't seem like Earth Power really does flip anything important in the 2 shield. Of course, you're gonna die to Togekiss, as usual. Togekiss gonna kill you. Also, Dragonite gives you an obscenely hard time as well. Dragonite will eviscerate you unless you are able to Outrage it to death, which is why you need Outrage. In the 1 shield, things don't get too much, I don't think, as far as the 1 shield, not too much of a difference. In the mirror match, whoever outrages each other, the other one wins, basically. Or whoever, yeah. Whoever outrages the other one wins. As you see in the 1 shield, of course, Sandtomb does have better bait potential as long as you are able to bait with it, and Earth Power gets significantly weaker in the 1 shield than the 2 shield. So, not too much a difference, to be honest with you. In the no shield, as you see here, in the no shield, you are able to beat Shadow Gardevoir because you're able to just essentially nuke it to death. And it doesn't look like there's any advantages of having Earth Power over Earthquake, as you see here. The 2 and the 1 to 0 is maybe a little bit of a difference, maybe? So you're able to beat Glaceon. That's not too bad. That's 1 matchup, but you lose against Mamoswine. So I don't know if that's going. Of course, you're gonna die to Togekiss. And let's see, in the 2 to 0s, obviously 2 0s, Garchomp is still very powerful, however, you still lose to Togekiss. So, you lose to Togekiss, you beat Glaceon. So Glaceon is the only thing you really flip in with shield advantage. In the 2 to 0s, or in the 2 to 1, not in 2 0s, the 2 to 1, so if you have shield advantage, doesn't look like Earth Power really gives you a significant advantage. You basically beat what you would beat with Earthquake. So, yeah, as far as like the overall analysis for Master Premier Cup, it looks like it's just kind of like 50-50, like it's kind of a nice to have. Flipping Glaceon is a great deal, especially since you are double weak of Glaceon, which is nice. However, it's nothing that Earthquake wouldn't beat, or something that's not really worth using an Elite TM for if you already pretty much, yeah, it's very, yeah, it's kind of, it's not that great. And that's it, guys. If you're worried about having to Elite TM that hundo Garchomp you already powered up, it's not really worth it. No, seriously, it's not. Other than Master League Classic, there's no real point of using an Earth Power Garchomp. Yes, it does flip matchups, like, for example, Giratina Altered in the 1 shield in Master League Classic, or Glaceon in the 1 shield in Master Premier Cup level 50, but it's just not worth it. Overall, you still get better value if you are able to get a shield with Sandtomb rather than Earth Power. So, that's the thing, like, the standard Sandtomb Outrage or Outrage Earthquake is still very effective in Earth Power, other than like closing moments of the match, won't be too much of a difference maker. Earth Power is literally 5 energy less than Outrage, so even then, like, if I do my math correctly, you're still going to basically, let's see, hold on, let me do 19, 27, 36, 45, 54, 60, it's still going to take 7 mud shots. Yes, I did math. Still gonna take 7 mud shots for you to either get to an Earth Power or an Outrage. So it's still, arguably, it's very situational. Again, Sandtomb is still either just as effective if you are confident with baiting with it, or if you get the defense debuff, it still lets you set up farm down plays, etc. So, again, Earth Power is good, but it's not great. Its best effect is for Master League level 40. But most of you are probably going to use it for level 50 or power up the one you have. Again, if you already have a Hundo Garchomp You don't need to elite. It's not a necessity to elite TM it. Earth Power does give you less energy than Earthquake. However, you do have Sand Tomb as an option, which in my opinion does a lot better at setting you up for really great things other than Earth Power, just because you need Outrage in your moveset. Outrage is what allows you to basically take out Dragonite or allow you to do big damage against things that resist ground types. So it's really up to you. But again, don't be alarmed. You do not need to spend an elite TM on Earth Power to have a really strong Garchomp. Your old one is fine. But if you want to do so, it does flip some matchups, but not alarming enough to where it like shifts an entire meta. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you haven't done so yet, please like and subscribe. The subscribe button is on the bottom right. If you hover your mouse over it for 5 seconds by the sound of my voice, and by the time you are done, I am done saying this, there is a little sub button that comes up. Just click on it and you will have subscribed. Subscribing is free and it really does help. I really do appreciate it because it helps support the channel, and I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys are having a great day. I hope you're doing well in your Go Battle League sets. If you haven't made Legend yet, don't worry about it. If you want to make Legend and you're nowhere close and you're done with this season, that's perfectly fine. There's always going to be another season. Good luck in Go Battle League sets, and I will see you guys on the next video.
Ciao!